Alright, hi everybody, welcome back to the Spyder podcast. This is podcast number
4.
4? 5?
It's 4.
Alright, 4.
Okay.
Introduce yourselves.
Alright.
I'm Tanner.
Clarissa. I'm Christine.
I'm Brian, safety captain.
I'm Laura.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say your title.
Okay.
Well, I do chairman stuff.
Varsity secretary. Baby secretary.
Once again, safety captain.
And I'm on the spirit team. Yeah. I'm making mascot stuff right now, so that's what's going on in spirit team. What about your team, Brian?
Safety, nobody's here. It really sucks.
Oh, that's really
The
lame.
whole team just
yeah.
decided
And
to
you haven't
ditch
gotten
today.
Tell them about the safety kit that you wanted to get. That was pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to pay for it pretty much 100% for myself now.
I'm
because
gonna
it's
donate $10.
It's $170 and the team doesn't have money to reimburse me.
Yeah.
But basically it's an imminent threat solution kit, so if anyone were to chop their arm off or something like that, I'd be able to pretty much save them. It's got hemostatic gauze in it, which is just a super, super effective clotting agent. It's got decompression needles, nasopharyngeal airway, just really good stuff.
Yeah. You could have saved
Paramedic style stuff, yeah.
You could have saved that duck, Brian. There was a duck in North Carolina one time,
Ooh.
and it was being attacked by snapping
I
turtles.
could make a really
That's
nice-
so
I know,
sad!
it was really sad, but I didn't know what was going on, so I go in there, and this that was a really good imitation.
Yep.
I can do a really good one of a goat, but I'm not gonna do it. I don't know.
So,
should I
like,
do it?
Dolphin.
That was really good. Yeah, that was
I
a
got
really
a
good
really
duck.
nice comb from that.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Oh, me and Tanner went on the Europe trip for the school for APEC,
Mm-hmm.
and went during the cruise. There was a talent show, and I entered, and I made that noise after doing a cartwheel to the middle of the stage, and then I just cartwheeled off, and I got a
That
really
was all you
cheap brush.
did?
Yeah, that was all
That's
I did.
awesome!
That's so great.
Tanner, were you
Yeah,
in the
it's a
talent
pretty
show?
special.
Did
I
you
wasn't
sing?
in it, but I watched it,
Okay.
and hers was like the only one that was like funny. Everyone else like took it seriously, and it wasn't really.
Did you sing? Tanner's a
So
really good
funny.
singer, in case you don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
You should sing.
Go,
Yeah,
ready?
sing us something.
Yes, sing us
I don't
something.
think I've ever sung to you in my life.
You have sung.
When?
You sing in your sleep. don't you?
In
Probably
his
over-
dreams, God.
Both in my dreams and
Yeah.
probably when we were driving somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever sung when we were
Nah.
driving somewhere.
Nah.
I don't sing, Brian.
We're at robotics until at hotels until 1 in the morning.
Okay.
So
well,
he
Yeah.
knows you're singing.
I
at
guarantee
that
you
point.
you've sung.
Yeah.
Well, I get pretty delirious during those times.
Yeah.
It's not really me who's singing.
It's
That's
just-
just
It's my alter ego. Alright. So you're
We've
not
been
gonna
singing
sing for us
karaoke
then?
lately at our house.
Oh, that's pretty
the
good.
past 2-3 days.
Yeah, karaoke's always fun. God, Brian, impolite during our podcast and everything.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
My gosh, that's okay. Yeah, we'll forgive you for this.
Turn
Okay.
this on.
But yeah, what was I talking about? I was talking about the duck. Let's go back to duck.
Okay, yeah.
So there's this duck and it's being attacked by snapping turtles in this retention pond thing.
Mhm.
Except I didn't know what was happening and it was squawking for help and I was walking home from school and everything and I go by and I'm like, that poor duck. And his whole family is staring at him from outside of the pond and I'm like, that's kind of weird. So then I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna jump in there and save this duck. So I go in there and I pick him up and then when I pick him up his whole leg is falling off, there's skin falling off of the bone and there's blood everywhere and it was disgusting. And then I'm standing there looking at it in shock and then all of a sudden I start getting attacked by something in the water and it's all of these goddamn snapping turtles. I mean, sorry, that was a bad word. These snapping turtles.
You have
You
to put
didn't
a
hear that.
disclaimer in the beginning.
Yeah, you have to put
It's fine.
But it's all of these snapping turtles. And so then they're all over my legs. And so I run out of there with this duck that's squawking and bleeding everywhere. And then there's just duck and blood. And I still have to go home and there's my book bag. So then I just leave that and I go back to my house with this duck. And then, and I lost both of my shoes in that pond too because they got stuck in the mud and it was, yeah. And so I got back home and we're like, oh my God, what are we supposed to do with this duck? So we wrap it up with some tape or whatever and then we dry it.
You take that together? Is this a mechanical duck? Or is it
I imagine Dora bringing the duck home and just looking at its leg. Gauze? No.
Duct
Duct
tape.
tape.
Don't do
Because it's
that.
It says duct tape on it, Brian. What else is it for?
Duct. Duct, like air
There's
ducts.
actually no.
There is this duct tape. Yeah. It's got a little duck as a
It's
symbol.
still duct tape.
It's still
They're
duct
just doing a
tape.
play on words.
Okay,
It's not for actual ducks.
But it wasn't, it was medical tape, but anyways. We used that and put like a little bandagey thing on it, and then we drove it to the vets, and they were like, oh yeah, we can operate on this duck, okay, that's cool. And so, well actually, it was doing pretty well the first day. It was kind of freaked out and like pooping everywhere, which was kind of gross, but it was a really, really cute duck. And then we brought it to the vets, and the vets were like, yeah, we can save this. But then they decide that they're going to put the whole thing under, anesthetics. But then they put way too much because it's like this tiny duck, and they gave him too much, and he never woke up, and it was really, really sad. And they called me, and they're like, yeah, he never woke up. And I was like, this is depressing. It wasn't even my duck. Why'd you even have to call me? I just, no. Yeah, that was
Where did we
really
find this
sad.
girl?
I almost saved the duck, Brian. At least I got it out of the pond. It would have been slowly
I think
eaten
that
by
there's a key
snapping
word here
turtles.
that we're kind of forgetting about, which is almost.
Almost.
It's so
I
sad.
know,
It
it was
was
really,
nature.
really sad. I was
Should have
heartbroken
let
after
it
that.
happen, maybe.
My birds always die, the ones that I have to save, yeah. Because there's, my grandparents have this one window, and it's like so clean that all these birds go like straight on into the window, and they like break their necks and stuff, and it's really bad. Yeah, they told me this one story about these two Baltimore Orioles that were like mating and everything, and they were like watching them, and then all of a sudden the male like takes a nosedive into the window and breaks his neck, and the female's like calling for him, and he's dead, and it was really, really sad. Yeah, like
I'm
these
really
poor
disturbed.
birds.
Oh,
Yeah.
what happens in Canada?
I don't know, these birds. Well, they eat the cherries, so they get like slightly drunk from these fermented cherries, and they do weird things. Like the squirrels, they tend to fall out of the trees and kind of like wobble a little on their grass and everything, and it's really funny to watch. Like I've recorded one time because it was like totally out of it, yeah. Yeah, and the squirrels are black there. They're really, really cute. Black squirrels are so much more adorable than gray squirrels. Have you ever seen a black squirrel, Brian?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, have you ever seen a black squirrel? They're really cute.
I don't think I have.
No, you haven't? Yeah, I think they're just a northern thing. Color phases.
When we were in London, there's a huge black pigeon that was just
wow.
really fat, and we named it Deshawn.
That's really cool. We had one that lived near our pool named Mohawk Steve. He had this little mohawk. And everyone, he was so, like, he didn't care about people at all, so people could literally, like, pick up Mohawk Steve and be like, oh, this pigeon. I think he had some problems. He lived on top of a vending machine. He was really cool. I don't know what
Sounds like a
happened to him.
stoner pigeon.
Yeah, I know. Everybody loves Mohawk Steve.
What if you took out that whole pigeon part of it and you replaced it with guy?
It was just a person named Mohawk
Mohawk
Steve
Steve
living on
who
top.
lived on top of the
You can pick
vending
him up and
machine.
show him that.
Yeah, and we used to pick him up.
This is Mohawk Steve.
He really
Stop
doesn't
eating
mind
those
if you
breadcrumbs,
pet him.
Steve.
God, Steve. Those are not for you. It's so funny. Yeah, but he was pretty cool. And there was this pigeon one time that I saved, or no, I didn't. I almost saved.
Oh my god.
Laura, I don't want to hear any more of these
Don't want to
dead
hear
animals.
any of the bird stories.
How do
Yeah,
you
they're all
find
really
so many
sad.
injured animals?
I don't know.
Not
There was
only
one.
that, how do
Okay.
you have so many bird stories?
I don't know. These birds like drop out of the sky and they're like dying, and I just feel bad, so I try to help them, but they never survive. They're just like so fragile and into their own groove, and then when it's ruined, it's like, oh no, I don't want to live anymore. It's pretty sad. Okay, there was this one, you know in the Walmart signs that they have above, and you know how birds like to build nests there? Well, one of the babies like fell out and was on the street and like crying, and everyone's walking by it, and I'm like, this is really depressing. So I tried to save it, and didn't save that one either. It was really sad.
Have you successfully saved a bird before?
No, it's gonna happen though. My plan is to save at least one bird that I happen to get. Because there was that pigeon, and like, they're all, it's so sad. You should see my grandparents' place. We have like a bazillion photos of me with my bird funerals because they would all hit my grandparents' windows. No, okay, I did successfully save one. There was a bird called a flicker, and it's got this like red neck thing, and it hit the window and was like completely out of it, but it didn't break anything this time, so that was good. And then we kind of kept it in a little box for a little while until it woke up, and we gave it some food, and then it woke up, and then we let it go. Oh, and I saved a hummingbird one time. Okay, there were no, 2 times. I'm actually pretty good. I saved 2 hummingbirds, Brian. Okay, there was one that was caught in our window, and its leg was like wedged between the 2 panels or something like that. And I got that one out, and just kind of flew away. And then there was one that got stuck in our garage, and it was flopping around. Okay, bye, Tanner. You're not gonna hear my story. God, Tanner. It's okay. Alright, so then there's this one hummingbird that gets stuck in our garage, and it's flapping around so much, and they exert so much energy that, I don't know, and it was freaking out, plus because it was stuck inside. And so it keeps like flying at the ceiling because it thinks that's the way out, but it's not. And we opened the door and everything, but it couldn't figure it out. And so it collapses, and it falls behind like some of our refrigerator or something in our old garage. And then I went and got it, and then it was like sitting in my hand, and then it wakes up and it looks at me, and it was so cute. And we gave it some sugar water, and then eventually it just like took off. And it was adorable. Have you ever felt them? They're like little balls of like velvet, but even softer. They're so cute. And it was all green and stuff. It was really
Pretty cool.
It was really cute. I have pictures of that one. It's really adorable. Yeah. Hummingbirds, man.
Have you ever lived anywhere different than Poway?
Yeah, we can talk about those.
In the ghetto.
No,
We lived in the Philippines for like 2 months.
That
For
was
2
cool.
months. We
That's
lived in
cool.
like
Oh, but
Orange
you know,
County. At the West Conference thing, I went to the AVU booth, I think, and they made a mechanical hummingbird. And
That's
actually
pretty
flew
cool.
and
Whoa,
everything,
really?
and it was remote
That's
controlled.
That's
really
It was
so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
We should make that in robotics. A robotic hummingbird.
They use nanotechnology. I don't know. If you
Yeah,
know
I
it.
know what you're doing. But it would
It's
be
really
really
a goal.
We
were-
could make a giant one.
Well, we were talking about like making one of those quadcopters and having them like fly around and drop safety glasses at the regionals.
That would be so
You're gonna hit
funny.
someone in the head. And we're
That
like,
would be so
It also
so much
drops
for being
band-aids.
safety.
No, it should drop them
Safe.
with little
Drop it at the
parachutes.
same
You know, like
time.
the parachute guys and everything.
No,
That'd be
no,
so
you,
great.
you drop the safety glasses and
With
attach
the-
to
with
the
the
band-aids.
Band-Aids,
So
so
like
they
just
hit
in
anybody.
case.
Got the bags,
Just in
yeah.
case. He got you covered. It's all good. That'd be so funny.
That would be funny.
Yeah, you guys should consider doing that. I think it'd be a great idea.
It'd be really expensive.
Yeah, that would be like way much. And would you use that in an actual competition, or would that
No,
just be
it just
because-
no,
yeah,
it wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't actually.
We wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but it'd be cool.
It would be cool if we did though.
Yeah.
And think about it for demonstrations.
Yeah.
Tina, your first regional that you're gonna go to is next month.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
What?
She said thanks for the reminder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, are you
You're
worried?
not happy about it? No, you're not. Okay. Well then.
What was that face then?
Wait, what are you doing for the regionals? Just come in here. Wait, what are you doing for the regionals?
Am I just mostly doing
What am I supposed to do?
We'll get you. No, we'll get you back. You'll do stuff.
It's okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll get back to you after the regionals, and Tini will tell you what she's
Yeah,
done.
Well,
you know,
It'll be
no,
I'll
so-
have like a.
I'll have jobs for you. We'll
Yeah.
get you'll do interesting
Wait,
stuff.
what would I do at the regionals? Am
Laura-
I dressing in the
Nope.
mascot suit?
No, Laura, you're staying away from anywhere with judges.
What?
Actually, I think she should.
You
be
can,
in
you
that.
know what? You can like
I
stand
should
Yeah, actually-
outside.
chuck flyers at them and everything. I should make paper airplanes out of the flyers and like.
No,
Nope.
okay, guys. You'll like walk around the outside, and if you see a bird that's like injured, you take the birds and save them.
Yeah,
that
I'll
will be
save
your
them,
job.
and I'll show the judges. Look
Be
at
like,
this bird I
wow.
saved. I'm part of Poway team. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
No, actually,
Yeah.
in the mascot suit
Wait.
might be a good place for you.
Yeah, I could do that. I don't
In
care.
the mascot.
In the mascot
Yeah.
suit.
She would be
Just
an
get in
interesting
there.
mascot.
It just needs to be someone exuberant.
Okay. Am I exuberant?
You know
You're
Reed
exuberant.
Johnson? Reed Johnson's actually a pretty good mascot. He was in it
Who's
one time.
Reed Johnson?
Except when he
Is he
started
on a robotics
hugging
team?
people from behind. Then it got a little
Is he what?
questionable.
Questionable about what?
Hugging people from behind.
Oh,
That
God.
don't know you. It's
Yeah.
really suspicious when someone whose face you can't see.
And it has,
hugs
like,
you.
red Guys, should I do that
And
to
you're
the
not at
judges?
Disneyland. Even maybe at Disneyland, but it's
That's still creepy.
Yeah.
Those things always freak me out. The people in
Exactly.
mascot suits
You know,
always freak me out.
I thought princesses are always.
I'm gonna be a better
Disneyland-
mascot than that. I can't freak people out. It'll be so good, Brian.
Isn't it like at Disneyland if you see like Andy and Jessie, if you say, oh no, not Andy. Buzz
Woody.
Lightyear. Woody
Woody.
and Jessie, and you say like Andy's here, they'll like go on the floor and like pretend they're not moving.
Oh, that's weird. Really?
That's actually pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
I
should
was-
do that.
I was at Disneyland
Dropped
a
it.
while ago, and there was one of the guys working there. He was really good with kids, and he would do that. He'd talk to the kids, and he'd act like they're in one of the movies, and he'd like either reference like Andy or something, and he'd be like, "Oh, we have to be still," stuff like that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Those people
That's-
that are so into their like role playing, those make me
That'd
happy.
be, I don't know, that'd be really good. I think as a kid, like after
Yeah.
like growing up with that Disney style
movie
movies
stuff,
and like,
and you're like,
yeah.
oh,
That'd be really
it's so cool. Okay, yeah.
I've heard it's actually a really cool place to like work though too, like just Disneyland and Disney World, because they have like really awesome programs where like you stay at like these buildings they have. I don't know exactly where they are, but and then like you get to just go and just do like be a character or whatever. So
Oh, that's
I don't think I'd want to be in a character suit. I think that'd be miserable.
I don't
Yeah.
know, it
Well, the
depends, like, it's-
princesses just have to wear a dress and like put on makeup. Like,
Yeah. But as like Mickey Mouse or
Yeah.
Goofy,
Oh,
I don't
God.
think I don't
No,
think
that'd be
I'd
so
and then they
irritating.
can't talk. They're like,
Yeah, that's true.
Or they talk in those weird voices where they have to.
I don't think they have them talk.
Did
No,
have
they
I
them
don't
don't
think they
talk?
have them talk.
I thought
because they'll be like, that's not your voice.
Yeah.
That's not what you sound like in
Yeah.
the movie.
Oh,
Yes.
you sound like
Not Mickey.
the kid.
Childhood ruined.
Yeah, that was like when I was younger. That was what ruined it. Was the whole Easter Bunny thing, and there was the giant Easter Bunny in the suit, and he was talking, and I was like, Easter bunnies can't talk, and he was like, yeah, they can, and I was like, and I was like, no, they don't. I don't understand what's happening. Yeah. And then, okay, what also gave it away was like, my mom had said, what was it? She was like, man, I hope the Easter Bunny doesn't get you chocolate and gets you something creative. And we were like, nah, Mom, everyone gets chocolate. And then he got us chalk. That was it. He gave us like tons of chalk.
Not even lit, just chalk.
Yeah, it was just chalk. And that was it. And like, yeah. And then we got all mad and we were like, Mom, you told the Easter Bunny this. How could you do that? Everyone else got chocolate but us. And she was like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. And then I kind of.
She rigged it.
Yeah, she rigged the whole thing. Okay, last year, it was so funny. This was so weird. For Christmas, my mom wanted to do this thing where, like, she got in this really weird looking red cloak, and she wanted me to take a picture of her from outside the window and be like, oh, there's Santa Claus, and show it to Sarah in the morning. But it was so scary. Because, like, it was so weird. And then she decided not to show it to her because it was
Why?
just too
Well-
scary. Because, like, it was really dark outside, and then there was the flash against the window, and Mom's eyes were reflecting back there, right? It was just so scary. I almost feel like she should have kept the pictures just so that I could remember that, because it was so funny. Like, she goes out, and I'm like, Mom, she's gonna know it's not Santa, because Santa doesn't even come through the door. Like, that doesn't make any sense. He comes through the chimney, and she's like, no, do it anyways. And I was like, okay, whatever.
It was just a dark figure in a
Yeah,
red
in a
cloak
red
with glowing red eyes. That's so
It was so scary. Yeah. I told her that probably wasn't the best idea, and then we just kind of scrapped it, but it was good, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have any interesting like holiday stories like that. Our family never really did anything weird like that.
We have weird ones.
You know, I feel like deep down inside, every child knows Santa isn't real.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
What?
Santa isn't real.
I
What
know.
are you talking about?
I know.
My
we
mom
did
was
for the
Santa
longest
Claus,
time
Brian.
pretending that we thought Santa was real, but we knew
For a
that
Millie?
we didn't. All of us.
Yeah.
We
That's so funny.
pretended
Wait,
like
we
for like
for
for
Christmas and stuff
Mhm.
because we wanted
Oh,
to
just
get
'cause,
like double
yeah.
presents.
Gotcha.
You
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
look, because like you go and take pictures with Santa, he looks different every time. And you're
Yeah, and you're
like,
like,
okay, we don't even have a chimney. How are you getting in, Santa? You're not.
that's so funny. Yeah, that's pretty great.
You know,
I
and then
think-
you know the Santa's writing on the name tag is the exact same one as your mom.
Like I saw
Yeah.
this wrapping paper.
Oh my gosh,
in
yeah,
the
that
closet.
always gave it away. I'm like, Mom, this looks like your handwriting. And she's like, oh, I wonder, you must have the same teacher as I had. And I'm like, okay. But then, what other thing gave it away was like, whenever it'd be like you have to feed Santa things, my dad would be like, oh yeah, Santa really likes Baileys and mandarin oranges. And I was like, Dad, those are your favorite foods.
That was the
He's
same.
like, oh.
That was the thing with my mom. My dad wasn't into that, but my mom was like, Santa doesn't want any milk. Santa wants some beer this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Gotcha,
Like,
Mom.
Get him some Baileys. I was like, that's kind of weird. He shouldn't be driving
Baileys.
under the influence, Dad. And he's like, oh, he'll be fine. He can, I don't know, wear it
magic.
off.
It's magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudolph leads his way.
As long as Rudolph isn't drunk.
But it was really good one time because I got this life-sized, well, it wasn't life-sized, it was just this huge stuffed horse, and they left it on the roof. and like all I could see from the window was its butt, and I thought it was a bird cage or something, and then I went out onto the roof, and it was like a horse, and that was pretty cool. I was like, man, he must have missed getting this through the chimney because it was too big, and that was pretty cool.
That's actually pretty cool. Your
Yeah,
parents
they
would probably
actually
do that.
went on the roof while it was snowing in Canada. Like, wow, that's pretty cool. But yeah,
That's pretty
those
cool.
were nice. I like our Canadian ones. Those are cool because like we just stay with relatives the whole time, and it's like a party every single day, and that's kind of
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, we don't really celebrate that stuff too much, actually.
Really, that's sad. You should come with us to Canada.
Okay,
Just meet
I
all
will.
of my relatives that are all really loud, and yeah.
Are they all just copies of Laura?
Well, I don't
That
know.
would be great.
They're all
Oh,
like-
that would be fun.
Yeah, they're all like slightly different. There's my grandmother. She's really funny. I've got like these two grandmothers that are complete opposites. There's the one that's the really sweet grandmother who's like the cookies and like gets you things, and she's really, really nice. And then I've got this other grandmother who's like flip opposite, and she's like really loud and likes to tell stories and is like kind of bossy, but she's also really funny and she curses all the time, but she's really cool.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's my great grandpa.
Yeah, it's like my great grandmother. Yeah, she's cool. No, my great grandmother. No, she's like old and senile, but you know, my grandmother is like that.
My great grandpa is 105 now.
Whoa,
Unless
really?
he's dead. I'm not
And
sure if he's dead or not.
okay.
He lives in Russia, and so it's like we
Oh,
hear from him
Russia.
like twice a year.
Oh.
So it's
He
like
lives
we
in
don't
Russia,
know if
that's
he's dead or
cool.
not until like the holidays.
Oh, that's
So
really sad.
we did hear from him this holiday, but he's
Okay.
105, so I don't know.
He's
But he walks around. Yeah, he
105.
walks around like he's
That's
30.
insane.
Yeah, he served during World War II.
My
He's a
grandmother's
monster.
like 98, but she's like a potato.
He's
at
a
this
prisoner
time.
of war.
It's
He's a
really
cool
sad.
guy.
That's cool,
But
man.
he always has a lot of stories.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stories, and it's really
Do
funny.
you
'cause
ever get
he's,
to see him?
I got to see him once, but most of the time he calls and then talks to us on the phone for like a whole day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a weird dude.
All right.
I got to see him once though. He came over and was just kept on trying to feed Steven alcohol.
That's so funny.
Steven was 8
Feed
when this
him
happened.
alcohol.
Yeah. And my dad would always take it and like throw it out the window and like just leave the
Oh,
empty
no.
shot glass.
He's like,
He's a
one more.
weird dude.
That's so
He
funny.
was really funny though.
It's so funny. Yeah. What's I think?
Do you have any weird relatives, Tammy?
My relatives are just kind of strange. Like on one side, they're like really kind of uppity and like intellectual, I guess, if that makes sense. And then the other
Okay.
side is like literally the complete opposite.
Uh-huh.
So like they basically just party all the time.
That's cool.
That's
And
cool.
then-
So
and
you
yeah,
can have like two
so-
complete opposite sides. Mine are either really French Canadian or no, they're all really French Canadian. Yeah, that's it. So they're all really loud in French, but you know, it's cool. They're nice.
It's funny.
What about you guys? Do you have any weird family relatives, peoples?
Ours are just, they party a lot, except they're not the parties where you just drink all the time. They're the ones filled with karaoke and lots of Asian food.
My
That's
godmother.
like
I call
those kind of parties.
Yeah.
My
Can you come to your
godmother
family
likes
party?
to bite me.
What?
Wait, what?
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 My godmother, Nina.
Oh yeah.
I went over to the Philippines. Like she used to when we were little. She'd be like, "I'm gonna bite you if you don't do this." I'm like, "Oh God, okay." But then we came over to the Philippines like a year ago, and then I'd be there and she'd bite me, and I'd be like,
That's so
"Ow, that
She
hurt."
just bites you?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Not really just like, but she's kind of just like,
Where?
I'd be like
On like
tickling
your
and she'll just be
arm?
like,
Like what?
like she'll tickle me and bite me. I'm like,
And you're like, grandmother, no.
That's
well, she's like my godmother.
Godmother.
That's so
okay.
weird.
That is
Yeah.
kind of weird. I don't have any
Aunt slash
relatives that
godmother.
do that. No.
And she just bullies me.
That's
Like
so
she pants me in a car.
what?
This is
We
so
were-
sad.
no, she's no,
she's actually
she's really she's funny. Like she's like she's like
I-
yeah, she's really fun. But she's just like she bullies me a lot. Like we in the Philippines, you drive like these huge vans because there's just so many people and you can like stand up. And I was like walking and I was just like standing up and she just pantses me. I'm like, okay.
She bites you and pants
Pants you.
Yeah.
But she's a really cool
But
person.
Yeah,
Don't-
she
okay.
likes, so she's
I
like the
think-
type that likes to play pranks.
I
Yeah,
think there might be
she is.
ulterior motives. to
No, no, trust me. She's like a second mom kind of.
Yeah, she raised us when we were little.
So we're really
this. Oh, that's cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is
She,
cool.
she would like, she's really good with crafts and stuff, so when we were little we would go and pick out different plants and pretend we were cooking, and then she made like fake laptops out of cardboard and you can actually like change the screen and
That's
then
so
That's
cool.
so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
yeah, we used to do like like a lot of things with boxes when we were little. Like we would
Yeah.
get like a box and then we'd draw like a Dance Dance Revolution kind of thing on it, and we'd just
That's
like jump
so
on it
funny.
because we didn't have it.
That's really.
That's so funny. I just did houses and stuff, not that kind of stuff.
I never really did anything like that.
You didn't do the
Well,
houses?
no,
The best
no.
was the couch stuff where we
Yeah.
make rocket
The
ships out
fort.
of couches and stuff
Oh.
like
I
that.
always tried to do stuff like that. I always tried to make forts and stuff. My mom always came in and just started yelling at me.
Oh, I used
Brian, what are you doing with the couch? I'm making a fort. Put it back. Okay.
That's really sad.
We always tried to have like me and my little brothers. We always like bought all the Nerf guns and stuff like that. We always tried to make Nerf wars. We set up like bunkers and trenches
that's
and stuff.
Cool, yeah.
My mom came in and just started like yelling.
No,
at us.
oh, that's sad. No, I used to spend like weeks underneath our dining room table, and like sometimes we'd have people over, but I wouldn't want to move all of my stuff because I'd literally bring like everything from my room down underneath the table, and I'd live there for a week and actually sleep underneath the dining room table.
That's a little strange.
That's
It's
really
just
weird.
like that dinner they feed you. Here you
That's
go.
right. Here you go.
Don't feed her. No, don't feed Laura.
We're trying to teach her not to beg. I'm hungry, Mom. I haven't eaten in weeks.
Stop.
Laura.
Stop.
No.
Down.
No.
My mom has good reason to be mad at me. Tanner, did I ever tell you about the prank I tried to pull on her that one time with the bucket of water?
No.
What did you do,
We had
Brian?
steel bucket, and there's the prank where you put the bucket of water on the
like
door
door
frame.
frame, yeah.
And I never understood that you tie the rope to the door frame or whatever so that when the bucket falls,
Yeah.
the bucket doesn't fall, the water
Oh
falls.
my god.
So my mom opened the door, and a steel bucket full of water falls on her head. It was
I
so-
didn't know that either with the string.
Yeah, no, it's
Until
so
now.
bad.
Oh,
Terrible.
one time we you know, because it doesn't snow here.
Yeah.
So we had a little night light. It was the house one, so it looked like there was snow on it and stuff. And it
Oh,
was
that's
little,
cool.
Yeah. And so we were like, oh, let's get baby powder and pretend there's actual snow on it. So we put snow on the
Ceiling fan.
No, we put snow. We put snow
Oh, we've
on
done that.
No, we put snow on the night light. And then we were like, oh, let's make a snow in the roof. So we started putting baby powder all over our room, and then our mom came and just like, clean this up. And then
No.
nobody used a vacuum, so we started picking it up like bit by bit. We were like 5.
No, we also had like we had a bunk bed like right next to the ceiling
Yeah.
fan, like really close to it. So we
Yeah,
got, like
so there's still blood on our ceiling fan from
Mine
not
too.
that close.
Mine
Not
too.
that close.
My little brother jumped
not
into
that
it and it was
close.
spinning.
No, not that close.
Ours
Yeah, we
was
reached-
so close.
We reached over and we put powder on the
No,
each
it
of the
wasn't
blades.
powder. It was cotton.
No, but we put powder too.
Oh, I thought we just
We put both, and they were like, "Don't turn on the fan, like don't turn on the lights." And then like someone forgot, right?
Camille
Yeah, a
Our
girl
other
forgot, and
sister.
she turned off she turned on the light, and it like started.
cotton and baby powder.
That's so funny.
We just really wanted snow.
Oh, man.
Me and my little brother Kevin had watched Tarzan, and we had bunk beds back then, and Kevin's bunk bed was right next to the ceiling fan. And I had it on, and Kevin was convinced he could grab onto it and swing like Tarzan. He jumps at it and just smacks him right in the head, and he falls from the top bunk after hitting the ceiling fan and just falls on the ground.
I remember when you were climbing
Yeah.
up our bunk bed,
Our
she
cousin-
slipped and she fell down and banged her head on the
Oh,
printer.
crap.
No. Okay, so I was trying to.
She's like, I remember.
I was trying to get a stuffed animal from the bunk bed. I was trying to go down, but I thought if I like went like this, like really fast, I'd be able to go down. Because like I didn't have my hand because I had like my stuffed animal, but then I fell and then my hip hit the printer and I fell like face down on the floor, and I had this like huge like welt here.
No, one time she was
Can I
riding
take
a
the camera so
tricycle.
we can-
She was riding a tricycle and she tried turning and it wasn't even moving and
Uh-huh.
she fell over trying to turn the tricycle.
That's terrible.
No, it was the bike with turning wheels and
No.
then she got this giant.
I hit my
I fell
nose, but it like
off.
didn't
Jeez.
cut it or anything on the fan, which was bad. But my cousin cut open his head on the fan
Oh
because
my
my mom was
God.
like, no relatives are allowed up there. But then he decides to go up there while the fan is rotating, and I guess he just didn't see it. No, it was because it was nighttime. That's why. So he goes up like after he goes to the bathroom, and then like he hits his head, and then he falls from the top bunk, and it was just like, oh man, yeah.
I almost
Blood.
fell from the top bunk, but I had good reflexes, so I just flipped over the rail and like
Oh,
still
that's
held
cool.
Oh,
on.
that's good.
Yeah, it kind of freaked me out. Just
Tactile there.
I did this thing when I was little because Kevin slept on the top bunk and I slept on the bottom bunk because for some reason whenever he was on the bottom bunk he always threw up. and I just got really annoyed with it. So I
I've
was just like,
got a
let's just.
story.
Oh, I just got really
But
good.
I don't know what
Growing
it was.
up on
It was like what are you doing? So, but what I did though is there's like this was the bunk bed and there's like planks of wood under it that would hold up the bed. And I went and I'd take my blankets and I'd stuff them in the front and back one and make hammocks and just sleep in the hammocks.
Oh, that's smart.
It's the
Yeah.
greatest
That
thing.
actually
That's
great.
great.
Yeah, they stayed.
Wow.
That's good.
Well, I remember I was like a
You
Cub
stay-
Scout, Boy Scout back
so
then,
you-
so I was like tying
yeah.
knots and stuff.
That's so
I was
cool. You
putting
got them
my-
to stay
yeah.
and everything.
It was
How
pretty
cool.
awesome.
I like hammocks. They're really comfortable. Okay, I have a story. Alright, this has to do with bunk beds and the whole throwing up thing. Alright, so there's this one time where I eat this like Big Mac and then we have to go tubing after. So I have
Wait,
this like
tubing as in
like
riding
water.
big inner tubes down
Yeah, on water.
down snow hills?
No, not on snow hills. This was like during the summer.
Like
So
in the
we
lake.
went
Oh, so
water.
like in the lake
Okay.
being towed by a boat?
Yeah,
Okay,
towed
that's
by a boat.
that's so much
It's
fun.
so fun.
That's so much
Yeah.
fun.
So like I eat a Big Mac and then everyone's going tubing and I'm like, no, I can't miss tubing. So I go tubing right after this. And then I'm really not feeling good and I'm just like, oh man, I feel terrible. I'm so hot. So then I eat like a gallon of this sherbet ice cream on top of this right after going tubing. And then it like gets to me nighttime and I'm like, oh, I still feel gross. So then I decide I'm gonna go swimming. And so I go swimming and everything and I'm still really hot and feeling disgusting. And the room is so hot and we have like 7 people in there at that point because all the kids sleep in one room in our cottage and it's all just like bunk beds, bunk beds, bunk beds, and then there's one that pulls out into 2 beds and like everyone's in that room and there's no windows and no ventilation. There's just one fan.
It's the
And it
worst.
sucks so bad, and so it's so hot in there, and it's so humid, and I'm on the top bunk, and all of the heat rises, so it's so hot, and it's in the middle of the night, and I'm just like, oh man, I've got to throw up, but then I'm trying to think of it, and the fan is spinning, like, super fast, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna hit that fan, and then I have to run across the house to the bathroom, and then I gotta lift up the toilet. This isn't gonna happen in time, so then I'm just like, whatever, I'm going over the edge, so I just throw up, and it's all over my cousin. And like my sister, who are on the bunk below me, but they don't wake up. So it keeps going and I can't stop. And like, I finish throwing up and I think that no one's up. And I'm like, oh good, nobody's awake. And I'm just like, oh. And then my brother's just like, ew. And I hear it like in the blackness. There's just like Cameron and I'm like, oh that was disgusting. And so then I get up and then Sophie, our relative, like opens up the door and she was like, what was that noise? It sounded like a waterfall. And she looks at my sibling and they're all like covered in throw up and she's like, oh my god. And so she runs to my mom's room and she tells my mom Laura's thrown up all over the children. So my mom's picturing like, I've literally thrown up all over everyone. But no, I just threw up on 2 of them.
Oh, just
Okay, but then this gets better. So then I go to the bathroom because I stopped myself from throwing up, and that's the worst because then you still have to like throw up, but you didn't. So then I go to the bathroom and I sit next to the toilet and I fall asleep like in a ball next to the toilet. And then in the middle of the night, my cousin comes in and he doesn't even realize I'm there and he starts peeing and I'm sitting right next to the toilet and I look up and I'm like, Christopher? And he's like, don't look. And I'm just like, can this, I don't, whatever. So then he leaves. And then my cousin Isabel, his sister, comes in at one point too, and then she screams because she sees me on the floor like right before she starts going, and I'm just like, I give up. I feel so gross. And then at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I start throwing up again, and then I get rid of it all, and I took a shower, and then yeah. But that was my story. It was really gross.
I like that you had a story that was directly relatable to the
What is your life?
I know.
I don't know.
Jeez.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
was still in Canada, right?
Yeah, this was still in Canada.
It's Canada's
Did
your
I
problem.
ever tell you the time that I bit my brother's face? That was by accident. This
I
is
think that
also.
you just have stories relatable to everything.
What?
Yeah, okay, so one time we're like tubing, and my brother and I are like on the tube and everything, and it was the one that's like 4 people, so normally that's kind of dangerous. You don't want the whole, because it's a small tube, but we normally put 4 because you can fit 4, but it's kind of dangerous because you're all in close proximity. And it was like 4 teenage kids. And so, anyways, we're tubing and stuff, and it starts getting really, really bumpy, and then at one point, I'm flying and I'm screaming, and Cameron's in the bottom, and I land like right on his face, and I gashed open his forehead with like my front 2 teeth, and it hurts so bad. Like my teeth like shifted a little bit, and Cameron's head was like bleeding everywhere, and it
crap.
was so so bad. Like, you could hear it and everything, and Giles was freaking out, and there was blood everywhere. And, like, the grossest part was, like, I could feel my teeth, like, tearing into his head. And it was worse because, like, then it was like, now everyone's gonna be like, how'd you get that thing? And he's gonna be like, my sister tried to bite my face. And it's just gonna sound really bad. And then they're gonna be like, where's that scar from? And he's like, oh yeah, my sister, she bit my face. And just like, ugh. And so that was really bad. But he didn't get stitches, so that was good. Yeah. Yeah, it was really disgusting.
How do you not get stitches after that?
Yeah, I know. And like, well, because we couldn't, in Canada, we don't have the same healthcare plan or anything, so if we go there, we have to pay like a ton of money, and so my parents were like, nah, he'll be fine, it'll heal up, it's gonna be good. Except it was really bad. I thought he would need stitches. He's still got the scar there and everything, but his hair has grown over it, so it's all good.
Tanner, did you have that thing? It was like a tube, and you put the board on top of it, and you like practice surfing on it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, one time I smacked my face on it because I decided that I wasn't gonna stand on it. I was gonna like put my hands on the top and my feet on the bottom and like go like this, and then I slipped, and since my feet were still on the back, the board and went like this,
yeah.
and my face was right here.
Yeah.
And I bit through my top lip
Ow.
with all my teeth.
Ow.
And it was
God,
just
it's
impaled
so bad.
on my teeth, and my mom had to come
Ow.
in, and I was just laying on the floor like freaking the
That's
hell
so
out because my mom
terrible.
wanted to go to lunch or something, and she looks at me and just goes and rips it right out. Never got stitches. Still has the scars.
So gross.
Mhm.
Oh, that's really nasty. That's like Doug, where he was going. What was it? We were snips. What was it? What do you call that thing?
More stories with
Ow.
Surfboarding or whatever. It is.
Surfing?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but it's on the board, and you're like being towed by a thing, but it's on a board.
Wakeboarding.
Wakeboard.
Wakeboarding. Okay, there we go. And the wakeboard hits him. It like goes backwards, and the like little, you know how they have the little what you call fin
Yeah.
thing. Well, that cuts him in the back of the head.
Oh.
It was so nasty. And yeah, it was gross. And then he had to actually go to the hospital for that.
I
And
don't think
he got
I've
stitches.
ever had a serious injury, really.
Okay, that's good. I haven't either. One time I almost.
It's all. I think your brother got it all.
I think my brother did get it all. There was-
Right, your brother.
That's like my brother too, except my brother just got him out of stupidity.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah.
Yeah, there was the one time where my brother decided it'd be a good idea because we used to have a driveway that went like this. It was like so steep. It was really terrifying, and no one wanted to buy our house mainly because the driveway was so steep. Anyways, so my brother decides it's gonna be a good idea for him to go on his like little trike down. This.
I did it except
Yeah.
with a surfboard, and I did it like skeleton in the Olympics after watching the Olympics, and I got a driveway like this,
Oh yeah.
smacked my face at the bottom on the
No,
road.
like it was going so fast, he lost control and slid on his like body because he fell off the thing
Oh.
all the way down the driveway.
Oh.
It was really bad. Okay, the worst was like when I did that, I was scootering and I scootered all the way down, and then I was like, oh, there's a rock, yeah. And then there was a rock, and I was like, oh, I'll hit the rock and it'll be fine. And it was just a little rock. But no, when you're on a scooter and it's just two, it like completely wiped me out. And I got these like, I don't know if I still have the scars, but like there.
Yep.
See, there's one, and I had them on my knees, and it was really bad. Yeah, there's one. Uh-huh. Yeah.
When you came to the apartment and I opened the door, was it you? Was
Oh
that
yeah,
me?
I was like scooting around. You know how like sometimes in the sidewalk there's like a slight like,
It's like.
Like
Did it?
Oh, it's angled in like that?
Yeah.
or no, like
No,
it was
it's
like
just not
over a
even
little
that.
bit. It's like
Oh,
uneven.
okay.
Yeah.
And I like tripped, like my scooter went like that, and I
Ooh.
like, flew. But I don't think it was really that bad. But I just like I
Yeah.
cut my lip a little bit, and I like cut my face.
Yeah.
But then it really wasn't that bad. But it just started
But it was
bleeding a
bleeding,
lot.
yeah.
So I
Well, your
started like.
face bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just like came back home like bleeding and like spitting on the sidewalk, and I
Yeah.
was like, my face.
I opened the door and she's just all bloody. The first thing that came to mind was Bloody Mary. Oh my god, like what happened to you?
Yeah. There was one time where like I was sledding and I ripped off my whole chin because I landed on my chin because everything else was covered because it was totally covered, but I landed like right on my face and slid all the way down the hill on my chin. It was so bad, and it ripped off like the entirety of my chin, and like I had a huge bandage on there. Yeah. It was bad. That was like one Christmas.
You know, I think it's been a good amount of time for the podcast because we've been
Yeah,
going
wait,
on.
how-
Wait, I have to tell my
Tell
tubing
you-
story.
tell
Okay,
you
I'll tell you
Last
a
time-
tubing story.
last time I
That'll be
went-
the last one.
Last time I went tubing,
Okay.
we decided that instead of we didn't want to buy one of those big like 8-person ones or whatever.
Yeah.
So we just tied 6 inner tubes to the back of the
So-
boat.
That's such
In
a
the
No, I've
bad.
done that too, and it actually works though.
Such
Like
a
at least
bad
on some boats, it works well.
It-
Like, but what if you close
Well-
one?
Well, what happened
Bro,
is we were going really fast,
So
And this was back when I was living in New Jersey. And my uncle takes a turn like this, and all the inner tubes whip around and hit the side of the boat.
Oh
We
god.
would hit the side of the boat and then spin off this way, and he just takes off, and then all of us are just tangled up in each other's ropes.
Oh, that's terrible. That's so bad.
And he didn't
dangerous.
stop for another like 5 minutes. We're getting like
That's so
thrashed
dangerous.
around in the ropes. We had people like fly out of the inner tubes and it get air, like a huge amount of air. And then at one point, I was in the inner tube like at the frontmost, and then he stopped, and I went forward and bounced off of the back of the boat. And my little cousin's inner tube just comes speeding towards me and ramps off mine and goes over the boat. It was just absolute chaos.
That doesn't even
We
sound like a real thing that can happen. It
Yeah,
sounds like something
we
out
have
of a
one of
movie.
these tubes that's illegal in the States to buy because it's built kind of like a kite. So if you
I've
touch
seen
air, it literally goes
I've seen those.
flying. And I like went flying one time, and when I hit the water, it hit it so hard it knocked the air out of me, the wind out of me, and I couldn't breathe for like a minute or so. It was bad, yeah. But it's a really cool tube, and everybody likes it. But it's just like
It's the
whoa.
most
But it's
dangerous.
illegal
Yeah,
in
Have
the
you, guys,
States.
have you guys ever done the thing? I did this once at a summer camp where they take the huge like big thing of air. It's just like a big air cushion, like just absolutely massive.
Oh,
And
you
then
bounce
you
and
jump.
like,
Someone
I've
jumps.
always wanted to do
It's like
that.
in a lake, and someone jumps from like 3 or 4 stories
Yeah.
and lands on it,
Dude,
and
I
someone's
wanna do
laying on the
that.
other side or whatever,
How
and
fun
it
is
launches them up in the air.
Oh, how fun is that?
That's
Is it
so
amazing?
much
I
fun.
need to try that one.
I really want to do that.
And the
Yeah.
thing is I'm really, really skinny. Like, or at least I was really light compared to the other Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
So I was sitting on that, and they took the 2 biggest guys,
That's so
and they had
fun.
them like link arms, and they both jumped and landed
Oh
on it.
my
I
God.
went higher, like a good deal higher than they jumped from,
Oh my
and landed in the
God.
lake.
That's
it was
so
awesome.
Great. I want to try
I'd
that.
be
Really
so
cool.
scared. I would have.
No, I don't even know how I landed.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was a belly flop or a freaking nosedive or whatever. But I was just like,
Yeah, there's like some family in Canada that we're trying to make friends with because they have one of those. We're like, yeah, let's try to make friends with their kids, so maybe they'll invite us. I don't know. It's kind of neat, but yeah. All right, so that should be the end of
is that it?
Yeah.
Thank
Oh yeah.
you.
That was
Thank
it.
you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Who watches this?
Everybody
I
watches
hope you
this.
had a fantastic Valentine's
This is the
Day
best
yesterday.
show.
Oh, that's
Because
right.
I didn't.
Me neither.
Yeah.